Welcome to another edition of the Invest Podcast. I'm your host, John Ross. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I chose to take it international this time. My guest I have the privilege of speaking with today is based in the UK. He is a strength and a conditioning coach with many years experience. He specializes in getting men fit, healthy, and to kind of avoid the stereotypical dad bod. And I want to welcome my guest and the founder of Just Dad's Fitness. I want to welcome James Bacon to the Invest Podcast. James, how you doing today, brother?
John, I'm absolutely amazing. I really appreciate your time and allowing me to come on to this awesome podcast.
Hey, man, it's awesome. I love the accent, brother. So, UK, what part of the UK are you located in?
Okay, so I'm in a little place called Swadlincote. So it's in Derbyshire, so Derby. So we're probably in the middle of the UK somewhere.
Okay, so it's kind of like, so when I've traveled to places, 'cause I'm in California, and I think you probably thought, oh, movie stars and palm trees and all that. I'm in a smaller town. I'm in Sacramento, and I bet you it's probably like when I think of UK, I think of London, but it's a lot. So when I go travel, people, they call me Hollywood, but I tell them, well, man, I'm like 8 hours away from that. So how far are you from London?
London's probably, if I'm going in the car, it's probably about a 2-hour drive, a couple of 100 miles. Yeah, it's not too far. Yeah. Okay.
So out there, you guys are big on tea time, am I right?
A good English cup of tea.
Okay. And cookies, biscuits, right?
Yeah, not me so much. My kids are into the cookies and the biscuits, but I'll try and stay away from them.
Yeah, for sure, man. So James, man, with you, being in the fitness, you helping men, you specialize in that. What is your history with fitness? When did you get into it? Were you into powerlifting? Did you play sports in high school? What led you to this journey?
Quite the opposite, really. I was severely overweight as a child. So, up until about the age of 19, I weighed about 19 stone. So I reckon that's what, 250 pounds plus in American scale.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm only sort of 5'7" as well, so I'm not the tallest of guys. So you can imagine with the last name of Bacon as well, it was a bit of a
man. So 5'7", 250, man. You were carrying around quite a bit of weight on that frame of yours. So when did things start to change for you? Was it what made you decide? Because being big, like you said, having a last name Bacon, like that definitely didn't really, you couldn't hide, hey, can we get James Bacon to the front? Hey, is this a joke? What changed for you, my man?
Yeah, as you can imagine, it was quite a rough school sort of time. So got to the age of 19 and I think I just had enough of being that way. And one of my friends at the time, he told me to come to the gym. And to be honest with him, I didn't even know what a gym was at that time. Okay. I said, yeah, let's go do it. And I think I spent about 2 years of my life every day going to train at the gym. And then I think I lost about 8 stone in about 2 years. And then I thought from there, well, I quite enjoyed the journey, I enjoyed the process, so why not help other people? So I took my personal training qualifications. I did that for a little while, worked in some gyms, and then opened my own business, and then went on to study strength and conditioning, and the rest is history, really. So, yeah, it's been quite a big journey.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So pretty much you're saying, like, because there's a lot of people that work out and a lot of people that train. So in with that, you decide like, hey, I want to share this passion with other people. That's pretty much how it came about. So when you went on your journey, and again, I feel like some of the best coaches, the best people that can help people and know where people are at, especially people that struggle with their health and fitness, are people who have been there.
Absolutely, yeah. I think there's a lot of different coaches out there in the industry, but definitely having that relatable sort of background. I mean, there's different coaches for different things, isn't there? But quite a lot of my clients, they go through similar things, so it's quite important to have that sort of experience, so you understand what they're going through psychologically as well, more than anything. So it's definitely important.
Yeah, man. So pretty much you got there, you got in the gym, you start seeing those results, and you pretty much fell in love with fitness after that. Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, pretty much. The rest is history.
Dope, man. So when did the idea come about to start Just Dad's Fitness? I think it's awesome. I love it, by the way. It's great niche, helping these men get fit, get in shape. I'm sure a lot of them are dads. When did that come about? When did you come up with that, James?
Well, it was around 2013. So I was running a successful business with training women at the time. We had about 100 women on our boot camp. And then my first daughter was on the way, and my health and fitness completely fell apart at the time.
Oh, wow.
First daughter came along and it completely shook my world. Like, I didn't know what to do. My whole routine had gone out the window. And then I was sitting there, I was laying there tired on the gym floor one morning, and I was like, well, if I'm struggling this way, then other dads must be feeling this way. So yeah, this light bulb sort of moment went off in my head, and I was like, yeah, let's try and advertise something for dads, because I see all these different things going on for mum support, but there's nothing for dads really around. So yeah, it just started as an idea. I think at the time we put an advert out on Facebook at the time, and we had something like nearly 300 applications for it.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. And we took about 60 guys on, I think, from that. And then it just grew and grew over a couple of years. So yeah, it's been quite successful. So
smart guys. So you looked at the market, and you saw like there was a lot, like you said, there's a lot for women, a lot for moms, but not a lot for dads. And yeah, we definitely need that. And with being busy with work and kids and all that, I tell people they still got to make time for fitness. I'm a believer that even 30 minutes, even an hour of working out, is better than nothing. I mean, people spend an hour or so at least watching TV every day, right?
Right.
Sure. And so I read that for you, a happy day for you is helping your clients realize their true potential at any age for their mind and their body. You want to touch on that a little bit, because I also have dealt with this. People think like, oh, I'm 50, oh, I'm 60, I'm 45, I got back problems, it's too late for me. And I believe it's never too late. Wouldn't you agree, James?
Absolutely, man. I mean, yeah, just what you touched on there. I think people believe and they will tell themselves a story as they get older that they can't do this. And what you normally find is they do a lot of reflection as well, rather than taking action. So when people come in to talk to me, they'll be like, oh, I used to do that. I used to go to the gym 5 nights a week. I used to play football. I used to do this. I used to do that. And I'm like, well, we need to shift that perspective, because we're not there anymore. We're here in the present now, and what you might not be capable of what you was back then, but we can always focus on the present and now, and then get the best out of you. And you might be surprised with yourself of where you actually go. It's just changing that story and that narrative in your mind about where you are, and then just identifying some goals and the actual facts about where you are now, and then we can push forward, even if it's only little small steps at a time. And yeah, it doesn't matter on age, disability, anything really. It's always there. There's always something you can do to make your mind and your body stronger.
For sure, James. So for me, in working with clients and training, and people, they'll come and they'll say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. When we sit down, we have that first like drawing in session, I focus a lot on just the mindset, getting their mind ready, getting their mind prepared, because what I know is people, they can start something. Some of them can start something, work out for, oh man, I did it for 2 months, I did it for 6 weeks, but I really focus so much on the mindset because, James, you probably know this, the mindset will make you do it even on days when it's not easy. It's a rainy day. I'm tired. The kids are on my nerves. People will find any excuse to sometimes getting out of something that's optional. So I know you know about this. Can we talk about mindset a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm a big believer, obviously, when people do decide that they want to take that first step, they've always got that motivation, right? So
Right.
motivation, like I say, it's always just a feeling. That's just going to keep coming and going. So if you don't see any results, you're going to lose motivation. If you see some results, you're going to get a bit more motivation back. So yeah, it's always that mindset of changing the behaviors. So then what we need to really think about is momentum more than motivation.
Okay.
So if we can get the momentum going, then people are going to start seeing results if they keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And then obviously, if that motivation's wearing off, then maybe we need to have a look at the other word, which is discipline, of even doing things when we don't want to. So it's all just about choices, really, at the end of the day. And I guess sometimes it's how badly people actually want the result, isn't it? I mean, there's plenty of excuses, like you said. I think we've got a few excuses over here at the moment with the Euro football going on and people not wanting to get to the gym. So,
yeah, man. So with this pandemic that pretty much the whole world has dealt with for like a year and a half, and we're still kind of dealing with it. I believe we're turning a corner, and we hope we stay doing that. James, it just it disrupted pretty much every single industry. So I know, with you having your fitness business and things of that nature, did you transition to doing some online stuff? I mean, how did you weather this COVID thing? It just hit everyone like a ton of bricks, especially the fitness business. All the gyms were closed.
Absolutely, mate. It was a bit of a rough time to start with. It just came out of nowhere. I remember the Friday night when they made the announcement over here that the gyms were going to close. It was just crazy. I mean, I had a pretty big physical business before COVID. I think we had about 75 clients.
Wow.
Yeah, that hit COVID, and I think it dropped down to less than 10 people who wanted to see it through. So yeah, the online world has been absolutely amazing this past year and a half, and it's opened up so much more avenues for reaching out further as well. Definitely I've got clients in the USA as well, so it's crazy.
Awesome.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's really I believe COVID, it's forced us to adapt. It forced us to definitely think of other avenues, other ways of training. I'll be honest with you. Before COVID, I didn't do online training. I didn't really. I didn't really. I'm like, what is this? Now I'm working with some clients online. I have some people that are in different states. If the COVID never happened, I would never have met those people. I got a guy in Texas. I'm working with a guy in Wisconsin. So COVID has definitely opened up some things, I guess, some good things in the wake of pretty much, a really bad situation. So now the gyms are back opened up out there, I would say, right?
Yeah, we're back open. There's still a few restrictions in place, like we can't do any sort of group training sessions at the moment. So, but it's looking optimistic, and I think by next month it should be back to normal. So, whatever that is.
Yeah, it's like weird. It's like really what is the new normal? Because again, when you hear of pandemics, a lot of times, okay, it's going to be in this part of the world. Oh, it's going to be in this part of the world. At first, I start seeing it, and it wasn't here yet. I'm hearing about it on the news. I'm like, oh, no big deal. It ain't going to happen to us. I'm going about my day. I'm doing my things. And then, okay, I'm hearing about the first COVID cases in the U.S. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I'm hearing about more and more and more. I'm like, oh, man, they're going to close stuff. They're going to close gyms. Like, things are going to be. I remember the highways, James, like, because the highways were empty at some point in time. I told you they didn't want you going outside unless it was like for something essential, like going to the grocery store. It was just really crazy seeing the streets and the highways empty for a very long time. And I think it really it got a lot of people down, but I believe we're rallying back and coming back stronger.
Absolutely, but I think that mental health is going to be huge on the other side. You know what I mean? The effect it's had on some people, and as I said, there's lots of businesses that have had to close down as well, right? So it's had a astronomical sort of effect on everybody. So it's just how do we come back out of it? And there's plenty of support out there, isn't there? It's just finding that right support from people and getting back on top.
Yeah, and I want to touch on this really quickly in fitness and mental health and nutrition. And what I try to tell a lot of individuals that your mood and your feelings a lot of times are tied into your nutrition, and they're also tied into your activities level. And I know that, a bout of exercise is kind of like the equivalent to a mild antidepressant. So, working out and exercising, it's that natural feel good. People need to get more of that. Am I right, James?
Absolutely. I think all sort of problems start in the gut, right? So gut, brain, gut health.
The GI tract. Yep.
And then exercise is a great sort of medicine. Movement is medicine, as we call it. Making sure we're on top of our nutrition every single day, doing the best we can. I mean, we all like to have the occasional takeaway, the occasional snack, which is absolutely fine as long as we're not
right.
As long as we're not sat in McDonald's all day. Definitely exercise, nutrition, even sleep, and managing your stress as well. They're all huge things. So
big time. What would be your advice to the couch potato dad sitting on the couch right now eating potato chips? What would be your call of action for this guy to get off the couch, do something, realize his true potential? Because I've helped people and they've told me, you know what, John, no amount of money I'd pay to reverse this feeling. What would be your call of action to the guy sitting over there eating Lay's potato chips all day?
Well, if the dads, I'd say you just got to think about how that looks to your kids at the end of the day. You're a role model. And kids generally, when they're young, they copy what you do, right? And that's the sort of the time up to about 7, 8 years old where they're taking all of that in. So if you're sat there eating potato chips, what damage is that doing? I say you don't have to stop eating potato chips or crisps as we call them.
Okay.
But it's just getting up and moving a little bit more. I mean, there's so much more you can do than sitting there sedating, watching TV all day. I say there's so many activities. You could get up, go out, play with your kids, get yourself to the gym for a little bit. Anything just to get moving, really.
I tell people this. Like, this is another issue I deal with is people. They believe that in order to get fit, in order to stay fit and be on this journey, they have to totally cut out everything. And like you said, you can have a little bit of something as long as it's in moderation. But the problem with most people, the bad is like 95%. And then they might have a salad, but then they kind of jack up the salad. They throw a bunch of ranch on it. So I try to tell them, you got this mindset. I'm gonna cut out, sugar like 100%. Like this is a marathon journey. Like you might be able to do that for like a month or 2 months and lose some weight, but that's not realistic. You can have a little bit of something in moderation. So let's touch on that real quick, James. You ever encountered that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think some people have just got the all or nothing mindset. So they'll go all in and they'll cut out those foods, and then they'll get frustrated because they have cut out those foods, and then they'll just go around in this vicious cycle of just yo-yoing, aren't they? Because they've cut out the foods and then they feel like, oh, I'm missing out. I'm going to just go out on a bender all weekend and eat what I want, drink what I want. They're then back up at point A. So, it's just approaching it a little differently. So I like to say that let's just go down like the 80-20 rule. 80%, let's try and eat a little bit healthier. 20%, let's just have a little bit of bad. And you'll be fine. You'll have a much better result that way. Definitely don't cut out everything that you enjoy, because that's not really living life at the end of the day, is it?
Not at all. I like that. Here, listen to that, guys. 80-20 rule. You can do 80 good. That's a big amount. And then 20, have a little bit of fun. 80-20, you guys can maintain that balance. That's realistic. That's maintainable. That's attainable. 80-20. So, James, with you being someone who changes lives, with someone who helps individuals, how does it feel, James, when you actually get there and you see someone reaching that full potential? They're bringing it out. You see a smile on their face. So I'm pretty sure people come to you in, different shapes and sizes. Some need a lot more help than others. Some need a little bit, but nonetheless, when they see themselves reaching that potential? I know the confidence goes up, but how does that make you feel inside as a coach, knowing that you were essential, you were critical, James, in helping them to realize that? How do you feel, my man?
Well, I'll give you my bit of history at the start of how I was. So if I can take someone through that same process and get them to have a better outlook on life and have a longer life, that's what it's ultimately all about, isn't it? Being around for our children and enjoying our lives and having a body that works. So yeah, it's definitely it doesn't really feel like a job half the time when you do it. It's just that satisfaction, isn't it? That you've made a difference to somebody's life, and that is truly amazing, isn't it? So
yeah, man. So Just Dad's Fitness, man. You got a gym, you got a brand. Let's talk about this Just Dad's podcast. When did that start? When did you decide that you wanted to launch a podcast? I've listened to some of the episodes. You're doing really great stuff. When did idea come about, James?
I think I started the podcast during the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been running podcasts for a while. It was called something else before. It was called my company before, JDB Strength and Conditioning Podcast. And then we changed it to the Just Dad Podcast, and I just got on a load of different guests. Most of them were clients, some aren't. And it's just to get really about getting their view on health and fitness and how that relates into the business life, the family life, and all those different things there. So it's been running for a while now. I probably need to do another one soon. I've been a bit lazy, and I know you're coming on as a guest soon. So
yeah. We're gonna you came on for me, and we're definitely gonna do it. That international collaboration, my man.
That's it.
So also I've seen something about what is the creator? What is Lions Amongst Men? I did see that. I didn't really read a lot on that. I did see it. What's that about, James?
So Lions Amongst Men's my new sort of project that I'm diving into. So
okay.
It's typically just a transformation program. So it's actually a 12-month program. So we've got all these different sections. So it is, again, for men that want to get back on top of the health, the body, the family, the business, everything. So it's all in one. So we're taking them through the Lion's Den. We're getting them onto some good goals, finding out the facts of where they are now. Then we're going to get them ready for the hunt. So we're going through a module on mobility, flexibility, being pain-free, posture, all those different things. And then we're going to hunt the zebra, which is the nutrition section. Then we've got Regain Your Raw, so that's all about the mindset.
Oh, wow.
We've got the Strong Lion, so that's strength training. And then we've got these little modules as well, so like the Lion Sleeps Tonight, so it's all around sleep, rest and recovery. So I'm quite excited about it. There's a lot of work gone into it. It's not quite ready yet. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. It will be good when it's done. It's just taken a long time.
Yeah, man. The name and the steps, man. That is awesome, man. I love to see when you definitely get that up and running, man. So you're doing a lot. You're doing your part to try to help with obesity. I don't know what your obesity numbers look like in the UK. I know here in the United States, we're pushing around 70%. I had another coach on a few episodes ago, and we really touched on it. And a lot of it has to do with the advertisement, in the media, the big, fuel manufacturers, how they market and they promote to us. And I don't know how it is out there, but there's not really a lot of promotion, outside of us, in the fitness business. But you don't see any big billboards about healthy snacks and get more vegetables and, drink, plenty of water, try to get, 8 hours of sleep. Like you don't really see any of that. And here in the US, insulin prices are sky high because a lot of people are, they have type 2 diabetes. And I'm like, the food manufacturers and the government isn't doing anything to help. I believe a lot of it is kind of tied in with just the money in it. It's just so much money. It's a money machine, and it's leading to the epidemic here. So what's your take on that? And again, what do your numbers look like out there?
Oh, I think the UK is something like third or fourth highest in the world for obesity and rising.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. Like you say, it's all about the money at the end of the day, isn't it? Let's take the lockdowns for instance. They closed all the gyms,
Right.
but they kept fast food open, right? So,
McDonald's didn't close.
no, so everyone's just going to that because that's all they could do. They could just go get some takeaways. They could go to McDonald's, Pizza Hut, whatever, and yeah, it's crazy. And I think because I don't know about you guys, the sort of the gym industry isn't really regulated.
No.
So yeah, it's never going to get that big push off the government, is it? So it's not a big, huge money maker for the government. Whereas, yeah, fast food, yeah, they make millions of pounds a year from it, and it's just the wrong way around, isn't it? It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, because it's like if you don't like when you want to eat healthy, if you don't really plan for it, like you don't really like prep your food, have food like ready to go. I think that's another big issue. A lot of people struggle is access like on the fly to something that's healthy. There's like so much junk food place out there. I was driving the other day around lunchtime and I seen the McDonald's line was like wrapped like halfway around the block. I was like, oh my God, I videotaped. I said, man, this is the obesity epidemic at its finest. There was really no really healthy places for food. And that's me being a nutritionist. I recently actually launched a meal prep service in my city. And I'm actually prepping food for individuals and clients and people that want to eat healthy.
That's awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, I think we've sort of become nations of just being lazy people. We just don't want to do anything anymore, and we just expect everything to be easy, don't we? And if you said to someone you got to prep a meal and they don't normally do it, then they're going to be thinking, "I'm not doing that." It's just like we've got shopping like at our fingertips now with like Amazon. We don't have to go to the shops anymore. All these different things going on. The nation's just becoming lazy.
You don't have to leave your house anymore to go shopping. You're on this cell phone, and you can order your groceries.
Yep.
You can DoorDash a cheeseburger and order off of Amazon. And you're right. We're pretty much becoming a nation and a world of just pretty much being lazy. I'm a believer. It's kind of sad, but it seems like a lot of people tend to only do the things that are essential. And it seems like taking care of yourself for these people is not essential. And then later on, James, they end up with all these ailments. They're taking medication. They're saying, oh, I got high blood pressure. I have type 2 diabetes. I don't try to scare people, but I do tell people this. If you do not take care of yourself and you neglect your body, it's not pretty much if you're going to get sick. It's just a question of when it's going to pop up and manifest itself.
Yeah, I think what's the old saying goes, we spend the first half of our life chasing money and the second half chasing our health. And people just aren't aware of these problems, I don't think, whether that's just down to a lack of education from certain places, again, because the government doesn't really drive that, does it? It just drives, again, the easy life of takeaways and whatever. And yeah, it's just a matter of when. That's it. There's no question about it. It's all about compounding habits, right? So the habits, what you're going to come up and bite you in the ass at some point down the line.
Yeah, man. So you're doing your part, trying to combat it, and I'm doing my part. A big part of that podcast, this podcast discussed, and it talks about that, James. Before I let you go, if anybody wants to listen to the Just Dads podcast, get in touch with James Bacon. James, how do they find your show, my man?
So I think the podcast is available on pretty much all the major sort of platforms. It is on Anchor FM, the main platform I record it from. So just Dad's Fitness Podcast, it's called. You should be able to find it.
Got it. You heard that? James Bacon, the Just Dads Podcast, Just Dads Fitness brand, strength conditioning coach. James, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to speaking to you again, my man. I look forward to coming on your show. And doing that, James, I want you to enjoy the rest of your day. It's about 8 o'clock here. So what are you, around 3 o'clock out there now?
4 o'clock.
Oh, man, it's getting late. All right, brother. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll talk to you soon, James. It's been a pleasure, my man.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you, James.